How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. Over on Dixie for the daily, we did break from our descending channel, so that did push us forward. So Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is pushing forward, our momentum is pretty flat, so watch that VWAP. If that VWAP breaks bearish, we could see money flow break down, and we could see a rejection. Remember, this is inverse to crypto, so likely if this pulls back, crypto would push forward. We did retest that 300 EMA though, and we broke above that 103, so that is a pretty strong break for us. So I would watch for some strong bearish momentum in order for that breakdown to happen. Our stochastic is starting to pull back, RSI is starting to pull back on the 1 hour. Our momentum is losing strength with a double red dot. It does show that price does want to reject, but we have higher highs with higher lows that do not connect, so we do have a bullish continuation channel right now. I would watch for that to maintain. Our VWAP does have favorable lows though with lower highs, so we are seeing a little bit more bearish side. Those lower lows with lower highs does create a bearish channel to bring momentum lower and cause money flow to reject. How's it going, Hot Rail Hype? Yeah, we need some more bag filling, so this pullback is good. Remember, I do say DCA in and DCA out, so hopefully people were able to get some money on the way up. And now we are seeing our pullback, so hopefully they are recalculating positions as we approach support levels. Our dominance is starting to pull back. We do have a mini gap here, so that could try to fill up. That could be positive for us. But remember, dominance does weaken as altcoins do better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin lost 2%, altcoins gain 1%. So we are seeing altcoins kind of lead Bitcoin. So if dominance continues to fall here, we could see an altcoin rally soon. Our stochastic does want to pull back, momentum is rounding, we do have a double red dot, VWAP is breaking down, and money flow does want to push into the red. I wouldn't think an altcoin rally would happen until like around after election time, just because elections do tend to make stocks and crypto a little dicey. So over on total for the daily, I would exercise caution as we could make a double top if we're not careful. We have this rise, we have a drop here, then we have a rise here, and we could end up dropping away. So that would end up giving us some further bearish momentum if we cannot get back above that golden pocket zone. We are staying above this consolidation range though, so that is positive. If we can see a strong green candle, we could get the bounce and validate this and push up. Remember, that's why you watch for confirmation. Our RSI is starting to pull back, VWAP is starting to weaken, money flow is pulling back, stochastic is starting to bend, so I would watch very close. Over on the 1 hour, we did make a retest of that support level, but we are seeing a little bit of a round happen. So if we make a lower high here, then we get a lower low, we could end up breaking away. Stochastic is pushing up, RSI is starting to pull back, VWAP is starting to push down, momentum does want to reject, and money flow is in the green. But if that VWAP does break down, momentum will curl away and money flow will start to reject. We would see sell-off, but if that VWAP can get higher low and then stay bullish, we could see a continued bounce. So again, watch for higher highs with higher lows that do not connect to create a bullish continuation. If we get lower highs and lower lows that connect, that would create a descending channel. That would give us bullish momentum as well. But if we do get a lower highs and lower lows that do not connect, that's bearish continuation. So watch out for the bearish continuation and watch out for just some sort of a rejection. But as long as that VWAP stays bullish, we should be okay. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we are rejecting that 69K, just shy of 70K. We did say watch for rejection near that value area high. So hopefully you have been listening, because we have said that several times as we pushed up here. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is starting to push down. That momentum is rounding with the red dot. VWAP is breaking down and money flow is starting to break into the red. So if that VWAP continues lower, our momentum will start to break down and we could see a rejection off the top of this channel, and that would leave this channel in place. So I would watch if we approach the bottom. Remember, if we approach the bottom, that's where we could start filling those lower gaps. So over on the 1 hour, we do have lower highs with lower lows, so I would exercise caution. This could be a bearish continuation if they do not connect. Remember, if they don't connect, bearish continuation. If they do, descending channels push you up. More on that in the Mastering the Trade, so click that link or visit the Discord if you have questions. Our VWAP is starting to pull back, momentum wants to round, our money flow is starting to reject, so we do have the potential for bearish momentum to continue building here. If that VWAP breaks down, money flow will remain red, and that will weaken those higher time frames, so I would exercise caution. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we do have a potential double top on lower time frames. We called that in the Discord, so I would watch. We're seeing a pretty quick drop down, but in perspective, compared to some of these other candles, it's not that bad. We did push up very quick, so it's likely we will retrace some of those gains, maybe meeting support right around these candle bodies and where this consolidation range is, where these wicks are, consolidation range there. So that is also where our pattern points, right around that 65.6. So Kasich does want to pull back, RSI is pulling back, momentum is rounding with a red dot, VWAP does want to break down, and money flow is starting to push away. So I would watch that VWAP close. If it holds bearish on lower time frames, we could see a push down, and if it maintains on higher time frames, we could revisit those lower areas, just like futures. So over on the 1 hour, again, watch for lower highs and lower lows that do not connect. We are starting to round away and push down. So watch for a break and rejection of our neckline. A break isn't enough. You can see we broke it several times, but we did end up going forward. VWAP is pulling back. Momentum wants to round. Our money flow is trying to reject, so I would exercise caution. Stochastic is starting to round away, giving bearish momentum. So watch if that orange stays above blue. If it does, RSI could push down and price will follow. So over on graph for the daily here, we do have a potential for a bearish engulfing candle to form. Again, watch for a double top here. RSI and stochastic want to round. Momentum is rounding. VWAP does have a lower high, so watch for lower lows. If we get lower low and cannot get back above that neutral, we would see momentum and money flow start to fall, and that would cause further bearish momentum. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a consolidation after a breakdown. Remember, consolidation after a breakdown does create a bear flag that can continue to break you down. So we will use our parallel channel tool here. We will draw that consolidation range. Then we'll measure from where we started our break with our trend line down to the bottom of that consolidation and apply it from the bottom down. And that would give us a break of our 16,316. VWAP does want to pull back. Momentum is starting to round with the red dot. So watch that VWAP close. That momentum with the red dot does suggest VWAP wants to break down. And if it breaks down and holds, money flow will reject and we will see those higher time frames weaken. Over on Ankr for the daily, we did retest our pulling control from our value fixed range volume profile. Sorry, I can't get the right words out. So we retested our pulling control from our fixed range volume profile. If we end up breaking this, I would watch for that push to our value area low. So Kasich does want to round, RSI is pulling back, VWAP is pulling back, momentum does want to round, and that money flow is in the green. But if that VWAP ends up breaking down on lower time frames, that could end up retracing, is starting to curl and bend down. So I would watch as we are losing some bullish momentum, meaning people are selling more than they're buying. Over on the 1 hour, the positive note, we have several gaps to the upside. Remember, gaps have an 80% likelihood to fill. That's why in the futures, we say watch out for them. So we also have gaps to the downside. So we could end up pulling back to our 2698. And then we have one around that 2673. And we have some other several ones that we have covered other days. If you want to see them, visit yesterday's video. So Kasich does want to round away. RSI is pulling back. VWAP is pushing down. Money flow is in the bullish territory, but it does have the potential to make a lower high. So keep an eye on that. VWAP does want to pull back. If it breaks neutral, momentum could reject and money flow will continue to weaken. But if it stays in the green, if that VWAP can push up, then that money flow will continue to strengthen those higher time frames. So we do have that caveat. So over on the daily on XRP, we do have a consolidation after a slight push up. This could be a slight bull flag to try to break that 300 EMA. We have made several attempts and we got rejected, so I would just exercise caution. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI wants to pull back. VWAP does look a little weaker, so keep an eye on that. Momentum does want to push up though with a green dot, so if VWAP stays bullish, money flow could go into the green and that would show we have more buying pressure. Over on the 1 hour, we did reject our 300 EMA, so watch if we continue. If we confirm below this EMA, it's likely we could break that 54 and see further bearish momentum as we were not able to break this 55.8 and stay above there. Momentum is pulling back, VWAP is starting to weaken, so watch as that VWAP rejects. If it continues to reject, momentum will lead money flow into the red, which will weaken those higher time frames. So over on ALGO for the daily, we are starting to round away here, so I would exercise caution. We are trying to break our EMA band, so if we break that EMA band, we could end up pushing to the lower side of this channel still without getting that third touch to the top. Stochastic does want to round, RSI is pulling back, VWAP is starting to stagnate, so keep an eye on that. Momentum does want to round, and money flow is pulling back, so I would exercise caution there as well. Over on the 1 hour, we are bouncing off that 300 EMA, but we just can't keep free of these lower EMAs. So watch that orange EMA. If we break it, it's acting as a strong support, so if we break it, we could continue bearish momentum here. RSI is starting to pull back. Stochastic is trying to run up, but that blue line is getting close to the orange. Watch if we get a bearish cross, and if that cross starts to bend. If it does, RSI could start to lead price lower, as that VWAP does want to break bearish. Momentum is getting a red dot. That does signal VWAP is starting to break into the bearish territory. So if that stays, we will have very weak highs with favorable lows, which can continue to weaken momentum, bringing money flow into the red and causing higher time frames to sell off. So last but not least, we have DAG for the daily. So we did have the potential for a double bottom. We did get rejected by that neckline, so that's why we say watch for confirmation. Today's candle, you will want a green candle to give you that push up, but instead we did retrace half of our gains that we made. Stochastic does want to round, RSI is pulling back, VWAP is rounding, momentum is rounding, and money flow is starting to push down, so watch those lower time frames. We could favor bearish. Over on the 1 hour, it does not look too positive. We do have a potential for this to be like a very jacked double top, or you could count it as a triple top. Either way, a triple top does break you down as well. So I would watch for a push toward that 300 EMA right around that 24-25 area. If we can't make a bounce off that, then it's likely bears can gain control and then continue to drop us away. So we are going to delete everything as this pattern did not play out, and we are starting to see some rejection. That does not mean we can't see it play out still. I'm just going to delete it for my personal reference just because the rest of the market does look more bearish. Momentum is starting to favor bearish, but wants to push up. So if that VWAP can cross bullish and hold and get strong waves like back here, then we could see a continued push forward. However, right now that VWAP is favoring more bearish, and those waves to the bullish side are very short. So I would keep an eye on that. If that continues, it's likely bears will continue to drop us down, and we may get those lower prices. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. I appreciate all of